modest council house in Yorkshire. Dad in his chair, kettle on, kids supposed to be doing homework, but probably not. And then the house starts helping. Doors slam, things fly, water appears where water should not appear. It even splashed them with green slime because apparently ghosts in the 70s were part-time Nickelodeon interns. And sometimes in the hallway, a tall figure in a dark hood just watches. This wasn't one squeaky pipe. This was an entire personality. The UK would call it the most violent haunting in the country. The family would call it our weeknight routine. These are the Silent Files. If you like stories like these, subscribe and stay in the dark with us. Welcome to 30 East Drive. Pontefract is not the sort of place you expect to become famous for a ghost. It's the sort of place you expect to become famous for sensible shoes and well-behaved hedges. The house, number 30 East Drive, 3-bed semi, quiet street, a tidy patch of lawn that says, please, no poltergeists. The family, Joe and Jean Pritchard, and their kids, Philip and Diane. Nice, ordinary, solidly British. The activity kicks off in the late 60s, while Philip is home with his grandma. It starts small. White powder snowing down inside the house. Water puddles appearing on the kitchen floor with no leaky pipe to blame. Lights flipping on and off, as if the house just remembered it had opinions. Then the cupboard starts slamming. The dresser shuffles around like it's training for a 5K, and the fridge door opens by itself, as if the ghost is doing calorie counting. A neighbour pops over, sees a plant pot lift itself and drift across the room, and does the sensible British thing. Right, well, I suppose I'll be going then. Meet Fred. The Pritchards give the presents a nickname, Fred, because what else do you call something that rearranges your furniture at 2 a.m? Soon, Fred's hobby list includes cold spots that move around like invisible air conditioning, unexplained bangs, very musical, never on beat, objects vanishing, reappearing somewhere worse. Philip's bed shakes, Diane's covers yank off, someone puts jam on the doorknobs. We're not saying it was Fred, but he did have the motive and opportunity. And then there's the green foam, a viscous, gloopy substance that bubbles up from nowhere like the house tried to brew a witch and used too much yeast. Is it ectoplasm? Is it plumbing? Either way, do not put it on toast. Escalation, the oh no he has hands phase. At first, Fred is your classic noisy but shy poltergeist. Then he graduates to handsy interior designer. Heavy oak drawers scoot across the floor. A wardrobe moves of its own accord. Family photos tilt. A clock is removed and placed on the table with gentle passive aggression. The family tries to ignore it. Fred says, "Love that for you." No. One afternoon, a cupboard door flings open so hard it nearly separates from the hinges. Another day, the light bulbs unscrew themselves and drop into waiting hands. Thank you for the safety, Fred. Very considerate. And every once in a while, a cold, oppressive feeling floods the room, like stepping into a walk-in freezer that hates you personally. The monk arrives. You can live with random puddles. You can live with a traveling wardrobe. You do not easily live with a tall, hooded figure materializing near your stairs like a medieval screensaver. Witnesses, plural, describe a black-robed monk, face shadowed, tall as a doorframe, sometimes just standing, sometimes gliding, always giving, "I have notes about your life choices" energy. Local lore says a Cluniac priory used to be nearby. Rumor says a monk was executed, buried on or near the land, and now commutes to your hallway because the afterlife has poor urban planning. The monk becomes the brand. People stop saying Fred and start saying the Black Monk of Pontefract. The house fights back and wins. The Pritchards are not passive. They call priests, plural, sprinkled holy water, sizzled like bacon. Prayers, doors slam harder. One exorcism attempt allegedly ends with the entire house throwing a tantrum, banging, rattling, things flying the lot. The priest leaves with a new life plan. Never do that again. Paranormal investigators show up with notebooks and haircuts that say, "I own at least one turtleneck." They witness objects move, temperatures drop, and a heavy sideboard slides several inches as if pushed by very determined oxygen. Skeptics visit and make declarers like, "It's pipes." Yes, Derek, the pipes that unscrew light bulbs and curate jam. The target, Diane. Poltergeist lore loves a teen in the house, and unfortunately, Diane becomes the main character. She reports being shoved, slapped, even dragged up the stairs, once with a cord wrapped around her throat. We'll keep the detail light. Whatever's here seems to fixate on her. Visitors witness her hair yanked by invisible hands, see her lifted off her feet, and on one infamous occasion, watch as she's thrown onto the bed. The family is terrified, furious, exhausted. The house is giving worst Airbnb ever. Notes from angry air. There are messages. Chalk scrawls appear on the walls. Sometimes a single word, die. Sometimes odd scribbles, as if the air is learning cursive. Items that are hard to move, move. Items that are easy to move, fly. A heavy plant crashes, a cabinet tips, a plate lifts, hovers, rotates slowly and then politely sets itself down as if to say, "I could throw. I'm choosing character growth." The neighborhood tour. Word spreads. Teenagers dare each other to knock. Grown adults pretend they're just passing by and then stare at the upstairs window like it owes them money. Witnesses, neighbors, friends, rando cousins report seeing the monk in the window when no one's inside. Jane becomes an expert at serving tea while something behind her knocks at the pantry. Visitors pretend not to notice. Britain, undefeated champions of ignoring the supernatural until it learns manners. Why is this happening? Choose your own nightmare. Theory 1. Teen poltergeist energy. Classic explanation. Adolescent stress manifests as external chaos. You know, like puberty, but with furniture. Theory 2. The monk. A historical haunting tied to the land. Perhaps a wronged soul, or more Britishly, a right soul who disapproves of your wallpaper. Theory 3. Underground water. Geophysical anomalies create infrasound and EMF fields. People feel watched, objects vibrate, jam mysteriously relocates. Theory 4. Hoax. Skeptics argue it's pranks and theatrics. The family says, "Come spend a night." A surprising number of skeptics suddenly have plans that evening. Theory 5. It's all of the above. A little geology, a little psychology, and a large man in a hood. A flavor blend. How special. The haunting learns comedy. For a while, the activity takes on a tone that can only be described as petty. A jar lid unscrews itself only 2 turns, so the jam is safe but smug. A single teaspoon teleports to the hallway every night at 3 a.m. like it has a bus to catch. Pictures tilt slightly off level whenever Joe straightens them. It's not violence, it's trolling. Fred may be the first British ghost to master sarcasm. Does it end? With time, the worst of it eases, whether the family learned to live with it, or Fred, monk, found a new hobby. The chaos downgrades from apocalyptic to mildly unacceptable. The house remains infamous. Tourists still drive by. Investigators still book nights. Some leave with nothing. Some leave with stories. And every so often, someone glances at the landing and says, "Did you see that?" And someone else says, "No," and both of them are lying. What makes this one stick? It's not just the knocks, the slime, the floating furniture. It's the personality. The Black Monk case sits at the crossroads of folklore and prank, geology and grief, sociology and who left jam on the banister. Did a wronged monk haunt the land? Did teenage energy kickstart chaos? Did Yorkshire invent performance art? All we know is a quiet house got loud, a family got tough, and Britain got a ghost who can move heavy oak. If you ever visit 30 East Drive, you'll notice the obvious. It's small, ordinary, the sort of place where nothing should happen, and yet people say it still does. Maybe you'll hear a knock, maybe you'll feel the temperature drop, maybe you'll glance up the stairs and see a shadow in a hood, just checking the house is still clean. If you do, be polite. In Yorkshire, even the ghosts have manners. This was The Silent Files. Subscribe for more true stories that leave skeptics running for the light switch.